In today's class, we are going to discuss about post-modernization or post-modernity. So what is this post-modernity? In very simple words, if someone says post-modernity, we can infer that it is kind of a time period that comes after modernity or that follows modernity. So we have already discussed what modernity is. Recap, modernity is nothing but all the changes that occurred in the society due to the Industrial Revolution, the French Revolution, new ways of thinking, new logic, rationality. All these brought about some changes which needed to be studied because the society was changing at a very fast speed. That is why modernity came into being, because there was a study conducted on what the changes were, why were they happening, and what was its impact in totality on the humans or the members of the society. Now, as we move ahead, as the time advances, we see that there are further more developments. Do you think when iPhone 3 was launched, we thought of it as a very progressive technology, very new advanced technology, and we thought, wow, what is this? And now today there is iPhone 11 and we think, okay, wow, what is this? How modern, how advanced? But do you think that is the end of it? No. Technology and the changes in people's behavior due to the advancement in society, it keeps on changing, and with time it is changing rapidly, more faster than it did a few years ago. So these new ways of thinking, these developments, these differences in the modern society from the society that we are living today, say postmodern society, it requires new methods of studies because people are changing at a very fast rate. For example, earlier people used to commit suicide only when there was something very difficult happening with them. For example, it is just an example, hypothetical, and now even if I'm feeling lonely during the lockdown, I cannot cope up with the situations that are there in the society because it has become very stressful, it has become very fast. I cannot keep up with the society, so I think of ending my life. So this is the kind of differences that are there because the people are changing, the society are changing, so we need new methods of studying this. Okay, and the institutions in the society, they are losing their significance. The very basic example of this can be the joint family, which used to bind us together, but now it suffocates people to live in the same house. It is a problem for them to share the same kitchen. Why? Because all of the changes that are that are there surrounding us, the changes that are around us, they do not let us live in the same manner that we lived ages ago. Okay, so there is also a rise of globalization, and with globalization there are many other things associated which say that there is a change in culture, change in thinking. You are more free to construct your own culture, your own identity. So there are no boundaries for you. You are free to do what you want, and that also helps in getting accustomed to the changes that are there in the society. Now, post-modernization, it refers to a historical epoch called the modern era. You see how there are differences in art and architectural forms, cultural forms, movies. There are so many things. For example, we can say that in modernity, everything was new, everything was fresh. There was fresh creativity, new ways of thinking and learning. But now, post-modernity can be called the era of remixes, where you hear such less originals and more of remixes, more of this version and that version. So what is this? This is actually a loss of creativity, and there is this difference. In movies, it can be evident in any form. Actually, we can see that in architecture also. Earlier everything looked like, wow, this is something new, and now it looks like, okay, it looks like a copy of something that I've already seen. So it it does encompass of a new historical epoch. There are new cultural products, new theories as well, because there is a need to study new theories according to the changes in the society. But it is also replacing the modern realities, because what happened in the modern society back then, just after the industrial revolution perhaps, it is not true for the society today. Now, it highlights the chaos and unpredictability in the society, because there is so much chaos. I took the example of the lockdown. People do not know what to do. We are not given the right guidelines of what we should do, how we should cope with the stress, the mental stress or physical stress that is there in the society at such difficult times, and there is a chaos and uncertainty in the society. So postmodern studies, they help in identifying and highlighting this chaos, how socially constructed barriers are being broken down in the advancement of the society with the change in technology. An example can be breaking down of social class. People are more focused on individual identity. Institutions are changing very rapidly, and it is very difficult to define people under one label. Okay, now we also know that how people have accepted LGBT communities. It is a very welcoming approach, and this was not so common in the ages earlier. There is an experience of pick and mix culture. If I like something from one culture and I like something from my own culture, I can mix and match, pick and mix. So this is the kind of culture that is there today, where we decide what kind of lifestyle, what kind of things that suit me. I make the choice and I live according to that in any of the fields, whether it is cultural, whether it is religion. I choose it because that is how I want to live. Now, there can be three perspectives that are given by Smart, who said that there are three perspectives of looking at post-modernity. First, it can be a radical rupture, which is entirely different from modern era, and there is a radical change. So, the thinkers that back this idea are Baudrillard and Bogart. Second is, some sociologists think that it is in continuity with modernity. If it is in continuation with modernity, there is no postmodern era, that is just an extension. Jameson and Fraser, Frederick Jameson and Fraser, they have backed this idea. Third is, it points out the limitations of modernity. Smart himself believed in this thing, that the postmodern era, it points out the limitations that were there in the modern era. Now, some of the features of postmodern society or postmodernity. First is globalization. There is a transboundary flow and exchange of information, ideas, trade, and people, and it is now done at a very huge scale. Before we know it, we can order things from any country, any city. So it has become very easy for us. Second is media. Now, media today is very different from media in the older ages, older times, because today we all look for hyper reality, and the media is giving us hyper reality. Now, what is hyper reality? This term was given by Baudrillard, and it says that where the virtual reality seems more real than the reality itself. Example can be reality shows, where we often think that, is this really happening? Is she really crying all the time? Are they really talking like that? Because it is more real than reality, and we want to see that. That is why they are showing us that kind of things. Because what we see in media, it is very different, but it looks like it is more real than reality. It can be a picturization of war. It can be anything actually which looks like more real than real itself. Third is, we have become a consumer society. We have become consumer based society. We are very much into consumption, and we give importance to leisure activities, and sometimes more important to leisure activities than we even give time to our work. Consuming things have become so important for us. We have to be in time with the changes in society. We have to have the latest of everything and more of everything. We do not think of things as necessities. Even clothing and food have become a kind of luxury for us. We do not want to settle for just two, three kinds of things, but variety and basic standard of living, it has risen, and there is a bar which has to be touched by each and every one of us. So this kind of thinking, what does it do? It divides the world into fragments, because there is a really fast and dynamic, rapid social change that is there in the society, and it is very difficult to cope up with it. That is why so many people are depressed today, or they have some kind of mental pressure, because they cannot be themselves. You have to have the latest phone, you have to wear expensive clothes, you have to eat the certain kind of food that are being advertised, that are being trending. So it is very difficult to cope up with all of this. Now, postmodern era has also given cultural diversity and hybridity. So, because of this diversity and all the consumption and differences, fragments, rapid social change, trying to cope up with, there is a lack of clear direction, because we do not know what to do. Do I have to save for the next iPhone? Do I have to save for the next MacBook? Do I need to save the world? Do I need to worry about climate change, or do I need to worry about how I look? So it lacks the direction. There is a lack of direction, and you never get clarity. You cannot decide what is more important, leisure or work, how you present yourself to others, or what you really are, and an abandonment of the possibility of progress. So what is real progress? When you actually think about real progresses, I could say that for me, real progress is when I'm actually doing something for the world, something for my country. But by buying the latest clothes and jewelry and gadgets, am I doing something for the country? No, I'm just doing this to feed my ego. So there's an abandonment of the possibility of progress. Even if you want to do better in your job, is it because you want to excel, or is it because you want to beat your colleague, you want to beat your peers? So that is what we need to understand. Now, there are many differences in postmodern and modern era. Some of this, like, there is no such thing as valid or invalid knowledge. When we talk about postmodernity, it says that there is always a scope to infer more, to find out the truth more, because there is no absolute truth or absolute false. There can be many versions of it. So there is a relativism. We can always check with other things and infer new things. Death of the subjects. So it says that sociology only produces a possible version of events, because there is no objection of knowledge, and that is true for everything. So now in postmodern era, thinkers are saying it is not true that whatever the study or research has come out with, it is true. It is not true. It is only a possible version, and there can be many versions. If you are doing the research 10 times, there can be 10 versions. It also rejects the meta narrative and grand theories, because it says that now the society is so diverse, it is not possible that the theories are applicable on a very large amount of people, or a number of people, because the society is really diverse. So we need various other theories, because one theory is not fit for all. Now, what is the meta narrative? It talks about the historical meaning, experiences, and knowledge, which offers a legitimization of the society. So, this is what is meta narrative, and postmodern theorists, they are against it. Now, in modern theories, we talked about sociological theories, but now we talk about, in modern postmodern era, we talk about social theories. So, what is the basic difference between sociological and social theories is, social theories are multidisciplinary, where we use psychology probably and anthropology and more things with sociology, and come up with the ideas that are fit for the society and its members today. Now, let us quickly look at the positives and negatives of postmodernity. Positives are, it has highlighted the cultural changes, the changes in media and identity, how people are more focused on identity, how they look at themselves rather than the social construction of the same. And it also throws light on, or it gives an insight on how social changes like growing risks, globalization, growing power of media, how is that it has got its own set of cons or negatives. Because when we know that we can order anything from the just the click of a button, we also know that from that same click of a button, our sites can be hacked. There is a problem of cybercrime and many more things. So it highlights on those things as well. Now, the negatives on postmodernity are, first of all, Giddens has said that there is no postmodernity, it is just late modernity or reflexivity. Reflexivity is when we ask questions and we gain insights from every action that we are doing. Second is it exaggerates the scale of social change. So some social thinkers, they say that it is exaggerating the social change that are taking place from modern to postmodern society. They say that the social changes haven't been that drastic. Third is postmodernism is itself a meta narrative because it has taken the ideas from a timeline as well. But they do not explain where the changes came from. They are telling that all the changes that have come from, and the people have changed, the technology has changed, but they do not explain where all these changes have come from. One more point to remember is that most of the postmodern theorists, they are not from sociological background, they are non-sociological thinkers. Now let us do some questions to understand this further. Postmodernists typically argue that, so they argue that the answer will be D, all of the above. They said that universalist narratives which attempt to explain the world are invariably false because people have changed and one theory does not fit all. World is socially constructed in a variety of ways. All the assumptions that there are, they say that it is constructed by sociological theories only, so it is constructed sociologically or socially. Differences of viewpoint should be celebrated, not deplored. They say that do not probe into it so much, differences should be celebrated. Question number 2. Why is postmodernism attractive to some feminists? Why is this approach attractive to feminists? Answer will be D. Because postmodernism, it emphasizes difference and variety as well as highlights the importance of the private and the personal. So they give them a sense of identity which is really helpful for the feminists and they can celebrate it. I hope you got the lecture. Thank you for watching.